Welcome, everybody, to the Paladins Premier League. It is time for our last day of Week 2. Litagris here with pretty hair. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good,
You
and
liking
I'm
the
glad
bucking?
we just have a big room of professionals here. Everybody always bringing their A game.
Always the A game with the chicken impersonations and everything. But we're hoping the teams today bring their A game as well. First of all, we have DreamHack in November that everyone wants to fight to get to. 16th through 18th. Buy your tickets on highresexpo.com. PWC, Console Wars, Smite World Championship, and Console World Championship, all happening in one place. We also have Realm Royale that was released recently, and you can play for free on Steam. And here are some of the streamers that are going for our 24-hour broadcast. You can always catch the action.
Yep, it's taking over the world, guys. We've got some devs kind of intermittently popping in and doing some playing themselves, talking a little about maybe what they do behind the scenes, all kinds of cool stuff like that. But I mean, if you haven't noticed Realm Royale, you haven't been paying attention.
Yeah, I think if you open any type of social media or something, you should be seeing something. But let's take a look at the standings on how they are, standing currently up to date. Our last day for North America, a lot of the teams competing in this Renegades doubleheader.
And Envy will be playing them first up on the docket today. They kind of had their first matchup with Rock Monkey back at full strength is what I'm going to call it, basically. They get to go up against Renegades again today, and we'll take a look at the schedule now for exactly what we're going to be witnessing today. It's the last day of week number 2 here Friday. Down at the bottom of your screen, Envy Renegades and SK Renegades. Renegades with the doubleheader today.
And all of these teams that are playing today are currently 1-1 within the standings, so it's their opportunity to attempt to pull ahead. Particularly for Renegades, they have the doubleheader, so they could get a jump start if they want.
Yeah, they need both of these wins. With only taking the top 2 teams to these events nowadays, every win is very, very important.
And what we saw from Renegades last week, we were kind of wondering, okay, how are they going to do with the addition of Moonchopper? And they sound pretty confident in their play so far.
I mean, they're an incredible group of guys for sure. Kliku, one of the veterans of this roster. The captain, the guy that kind of put this new roster together, made a lot of the big changes in the split, adding Hero and Viral. Moonchopper, the newest addition. He's kind of stepped in for Poison, but Kliku, he was serving a big role, right? He was one of the main frontliners for this roster, has taken it upon himself to Phoenix it, to be that third DPS now, and going and picking up a couple of new things like even the Ashe coming out on the Frozen Guard.
It's the nature of our meta nowadays. People that only played frontline a lot of times are having to flex into those different roles. And it shows how comfortable you can be with that versatility on your team. Someone like Kliku, who's also holding a leading voice within the comms as well, it's important for him to perform.
It's important for the front lines, I think, because front lines are kind of the biggest swing factor in composition. Sometimes you just want 1, sometimes you want 2, 3, so it's very important to have a frontline guy that is comfortable flexing on other things. We've seen other ways of getting it done. Some of our console teams, we have a support player that flexes exclusively on May for the team. So I think it's just cleaner if you have one guy that can flex and do almost all of the DPSing. So guys like Phoenix, guys like Kliku are very, very valuable to have on your roster.
Yeah, and first off, they are facing off against Team Envy. And we saw Rock Monkey. He's made his way back. He is here to rock it. What do you think of their performance so far?
I mean, they've been incredible as well. And that same conversation you're having about Kliku, you could have about Tolkien. He had an incredible performance and has been great for them flexing off of front line when necessary. He played the Xin earlier this week, looked absolutely phenomenal, picked up one of the cleanest quadra kills that I think we've seen in the BPL so far.
All the way through to the finishing spray. That's how you got to do it if you're going to have a performance like that. We did get to speak to Random Noob before this match, though, so let's take a listen.
All right, well, we're here with Random Noob from Envy, and you guys actually have a pretty big matchup, I want to say, up against Renegades coming up. How are you feeling just going into this game?
We're feeling pretty good. Practice has gone pretty well this week, so we're just excited to play and, get in the game, really.
With the way things went for Renegades, and this is actually specifically against Splice, it went to Game 5, and this was a team that started looking pretty good towards the end of the last split, gave you guys a little bit of trouble. Do you think seeing them against Splice speaks more about their performance or more about Splice as a team?
I think both teams. I think right now the league is probably more competitive than it's ever been. I think Splice is looking really good, even though they ended up losing both sets. I also think Renegades got better too. even though Poison was a great player, I think Moon just fits their team a little better. And I think, like I said, I think both teams got better, really. I think Splice just showed up.
That actually kind of leads me into that next point I was going to ask. Renegades picked up Moonchopper, who had been, I think, really notable on Splice. He was a really big factor for their, even though it wasn't success in the first split, a lot of what gave them those close calls. Do you think that he's going to be bringing Renegades or bringing a different kind of fight to your matchup this week?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think Moon brings a little bit different play style than Poison. I think Poison kind of went in, and Moon plays around his team a little bit more. So I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult to play against. But I think as long as we play our game, I don't think we should have a problem. I think it should be a good game.
So just one last question. As a team, has there been anything specific that you've done to prepare for Renegades, considering you've played pretty much 4 of the members consistently through the last couple of weeks?
Not really anything specific as much as just preparing for both teams as much as possible, because the meta, it's shifting every week, and we're just trying to make sure we're ahead of it as much as possible.
All right, well, thank you for your time. Good luck in your games, and we'll end up talking to you next time.
All right, thank you very much.
Random Noob was always known as a resident blaster for his team, but he's picked up things like the Mave. He's just been really cementing his name within this team.
I mean, the dude's an incredibly hot commodity in North America. There aren't very many blaster players that can compete on the caliber that I think Evil Eye can, and that's, I think, what makes G2 such a great team. It's one of the best players in North America at doing that role, and they're just so few and far between. I think it's great to see Moonchopper stepping up and taking more of the role as the blaster for the Renegades as well. And they're figuring it out the hard way that you need a strong blaster player to be able to compete.
And we're heading into this best-of-5 set where Renegades, when facing off against Envy, you have to think of the fact that they have Random Noob and Rock Monkey that, as a collective, really managed to cover all of the angles of damage, really, for their team. And Stone Keep is our first locale.
They're completely insane at their picks, and Toki is quickly becoming a really good third sort of step up to fill in the gaps, to just be that role player, so to speak. But that can still have that star-studded performance, and now we're seeing 2 front lines taken off the board, Cassie as well, and I think that's a pretty safe ban when you're up against Team Envy.
Well, both of the bows taken away, and Buck is the first lock-in. We've seen a lot of Buck over this split so far, but not always the first pickup. So what do you think of this prioritization?
I mean, it goes back to who's playing on the day. I think this is going to be a pretty big prioritization here. For the Renegades specifically, Envy, I don't think are really after the Buck super, super hard, and Renegades, maybe the quicker they realize this, the later in the draft they can get it and give themselves some space to get something a little different. But all jokes aside, I mean, Maeve goes 5th overall here, and that is not something I anticipated. Again, with Drogos being picked up, it just seems like Envy didn't want it today.
Right. If Drogos wasn't there and then Maeve made it through all the way, would be a little surprised. But when Random Noob is the one that's usually going to be playing the Blaster and the Maeve as well, it's really just kind of an alternative to whatever strategy they do choose. The Zen, Leon, so it's triple DPS so far for Envy.
Now, last pick for Envy. They still need their front line here. Inara is on the board. She's been going later and later, but they go for the Fernando here. And that's a little interesting to me given the Maeve, which can go straight through his shield, his major defensive ability. It's something, again, it's kind of like when Makoa goes first pick. They're aware of it. They've got a plan for it. I don't know what that plan is. I don't know how effective it's going to be, but it's something Envy have to be ready to play around.
Rubu likes to be a very aggressive frontliner, so maybe that's just the style that Envy is trying to go for. But there's only one way to find out, so let's go to game 1.
Well, thanks, guys. Gore and Rain Day here on the cast. For game 1, it's Renegades, I think, having a chance to maybe upset the power in North America.
This is that area where I want to say Envy can just showcase, okay, we are really good, or Renegades can showcase, we are here to play. Picking up Moonchopper has actually risen to the top for our team. And I'm actually kind of curious as to how they're going to go about this, because again, the Maeve going through the Fernando shield, like that does kind of give an edge to Renegades just because Moonchopper loves Maeve.
I agree. I think Maeve is a great pickup here, especially for Moonchopper. But I also think that there's this interesting kind of note about that last Fernando pick, which says that Envy want to play aggressive. It also says that they're concerned about the BK, I think, who admittedly is a little bit harder to deal with the Fernando, sometimes on the King Bomb ult, than the Inara, who, she can basically throw a wall up, but it's not as flexible as a Fernando throwing that shield up and maybe being able to mitigate some of that damage. The other big aspect of this is you're going against the Buck. The flankers you're dealing with have high damage reduction, giving them extra healing, giving them the ability to deal with that. Brand being brought by Fernando, the 75% anti-heal is a big shutdown for some of these champs.
And I'm actually kind of interested to see the way Rubu's loadout is lifted, just because, normally we see, I want to say, Incinerate at level 5 or a movable object at level 5.
Yeah.
This time he's gone for both at level 4, so he's losing a little bit at the top end, but it's still going to get a lot of utility out of that. And
right.
This is actually a different loadout. The last time I talked to him about his Fernando loadout, he likes running the movement speed. You hit the fireball, you get fast. He likes getting aggressive. Not going to be the way he's playing this time.
And really smart for him to kind of position here. Unfortunately, he gets stunned there, but he's trying to line up a fireball, and this is good. It gets Loki, and he's already half health, but Moonchopper waits for the shield and starts going, but Random Noob follows right back. 2 tanks down, and now it's really a battle royale of the damage dealer, so to speak. Who will come out on top? Loki on the Bomb King. That's an unusual sight for the Renegade squad.
Definitely a big switch up, I'd say, as far as things go. Loki has been trying things out, though, lately, and I feel like he's trying to fill that role, something Renegades have kind of been missing, I think, is the strong stand-out blast player.
Yep.
And just try to fill that role up as best you can. ClickU, though, has been flexing around a lot. This Buck, so far, it's looking solid. Hasn't had anything too outstanding.
And one of the things we're noticing here, Inara, with her ultimate, very, very easy to control these stairs. With the Warder's Field, sure. But Fernando, kind of already, with the Master Riding, with the Fireball, makes Hero fall back, and they've been playing relatively defensive. Now Random Noob getting a little bit of pressure. Loki, though, feeling it the most. Is he going to drop back? Team Envy now with 18% on the objective, but still no one there.
It took a full minute before anybody touched the point.
It's a wild
And then
game.
it got 18%. Now Renegade's finally getting 3% on there. You can tell these teams actually respecting each other a lot, and this says more, I think, to Renegade's strength than it does. A nice trade-off. Moonchopper goes down for Rubu, but Rubu kills Moonchopper. So going back and forth between it, you can tell Envy are a little bit more timid. I think they'd want to approach Renegades with the respect.
And, they're looking for something here, right? They're looking for one player to get off, and they're also waiting, and I think Hero doing this really smartly, is waiting to fully commit until he has the reanimate. Once he has that, he can get on the point, and he can definitely beat out the Fernando, who's not going to be able to mitigate his damage initially, as well as his damage when he comes back to life. 74% on it, 77 now, and Loki finding a big kill. This is enough for Renegades to take control.
And I love that. Random Noob goes down, and immediately you hear Renegades just slam the gas pedal. They're like, go. Now is the time. We have an opening. No Drogos. Get as many kills as you can. And Loki is the one really leading the way, picking up a lot of it, last hits or not. He's still being able to clean it up, and that gives Renegades a ton of space.
And it's a battle of patience. I mean, 3 minutes gone by. Last match we saw, the first 2-0 happened within 3 minutes and 30 seconds when you were looking at just the domination of NIP over Mouse Sports. So in North America, things getting a little bit more heated. Great Dread Serpent. Rubu gets onto the point. Immortal is here as well. Do they have something to follow up?
Shot's still good, keeping him held back. Rubu going down there. That pretty much ends it. 99%, that should go to 100. Everyone's dismounted, locked in the base. Envy lose the first point.
Yeah, and this is not, a surprise based on how slowly they took that point. It felt like both teams were feeling each other out, a street fight.
Yeah.
You're trying to see, what is this guy bringing?
Size the guy up.
He's got this
What kind of
crazy
moves does he
stance.
have?
Yeah, does he start kicking? Does he start, backflipping? Does he start, bring some nunchucks out?
Let me tell you, if you're going up against a guy and he starts backflipping on you, you just get out of that fight as fast as you can.
Well, the great scene of the guy who just does all the backflips and the martial arts moves, and he does it for like 3 seconds, and then the guy takes out the weapon and just shoots him, and he's like, oh, and you're like, yeah.
I guess that is one way to win that.
It's one way, but not the way here that I think they'd like to see it go. Although Tolkien, with that heirloom rifle, has definitely been a threat, just hasn't really shown up here quite yet for Team Envy.
Shots have been good, and this is something I think that, again, has been riding on his shoulders a lot. Last week, without Rock Monkey, he felt a lot of weight on him to perform.
Yeah.
This week, started out great, had a quadra kill.
Yeah.
Was able to find 4, and it looked fantastic compared to what we had seen. Now, again, kind of not necessarily taking a back burner step, but it's sitting there, and you're just like, okay, when are you going to take that next level? When is it going to become the Leon? It's like, okay, well, you're just switching to Leon, and when is it going to be you're playing Leon?
When is it going to be this kind of, I'll really hearken it to Madara, who I watched Virtus Pro use so well with the Leon a couple of weeks ago and really able to kind of pilot this champion in a way that was that hyper carry for them. Tolkien has that potential at any moment, especially with the Enlightenment, but Loki has just far outperformed him. Rock Monkey's been under pressure from this BK, and Moonchopper has really been in the right space at the right time as they're looking for a flank here. Random Noob is low. He's going to make it back to his base, though.
Almost found those daggers. I love the aggressiveness coming down from Moonchopper. And again, this is probably one of his most signature gods or champions that he's been able to run, making it look godlike with the way things are. Everything he does on Maeve it just gives me flashbacks. Like the times I remember seeing Splyce successful was always when it was Moonchopper running a Maeve.
Yeah, and I mean, that's part of the reason why they brought him together. So many big roster swaps happening. Simsy does so well now off of NIP and, being replaced by Diggy who's flying in from OCE to be a part of that European team. A real big juggernaut in the Paladin scene. And you see Moonchopper coming in from a Splyce roster that basically got all dropped and really helping to raise the value of this Renegade squad. He's got a high IQ in the game.
These are the kinds of teams that form when you get, your G2s in North America, your Fanatics and Navis in Europe, where it's just, how do we take them down? And eventually you just realize, I don't think we can. With the way we are right now, I don't think we have the capabilities of taking it down. We have to change something. Sometimes it's just a little change. Sometimes it's a big change. Moonchopper, I want to say he's kind of a little change, but I think he's a much bigger pickup than Poison.
I mean, you're reminding me of the NBA Finals right now. And I know it's a basketball reference, but how can you not compare just not having the right materials to be able to get the job done against a team with 4 All-Stars? ClickQ here. Just a real all-star performance himself at the LAN, but Moonchopper is really taking control, finding 2 of the last hits. ClickQ making the space, and this Buck Maeve flank combination on Stone Keep has just put Tolkien in the dirt. Wasted Enlightenment. Void Grip, though, trying to get him, and Moonchopper's just going to escape with his life at 30% on the objective.
Again, just being able to get out of there, even low, but staying alive just means you're going to have more of a potential threat overall throughout this point. 57, 60% now for Renegades on the point. Streaks are burning. Galore through time and space comes through, but doesn't kill anybody, doesn't connect onto anybody. And they finally kill off Moonchopper, which gives Envy the ability to get back into this fight.
And Mr. Hayes really goes for a big ultimate. It doesn't work, and Random Noob been relatively quiet. ClickQ really doing a great job of silencing him there. Tolkien realizes that the point is something that they have under control, so he's just going to start target swapping and make sure he can get his damage where he needs to. But Renegade's 96%. Luckily, the Buck is Void Grip. He's going to land down now, and it forces Tolkien down, but the objective's captured. Viral and Moonchopper picking up a couple. Moonchopper getting his second, and Loki trying to battle out with Mr. Hayes. Unstoppable is the king until Random Noob fires a rocket, but it is just too late.
And that was just a good showcase. I want to say from ClickQ being able to run certain cards, but having the wherewithal of what ability he needs to pop at the right time to make sure. This Leon is literally hammering me with bullets. How do I stop the damage just enough for someone to come in and save me? Tolkien, I want to say, kind of misreads the situation, thinks he has a clean kill, and then Renegades come in, clean it up, and they played that really well. This is actually looking remarkable from them. Again, just a small pickup, a little bit of change, but one of the things they've been talking about is the fact that now they've had that time to practice together.
And it's so important to notice, the way that basically Resilience and Rejuvenate impact each other, because Death and Taxes, 90% anti-heal, awesome. But when Buck can mitigate 50% of it, it's really only 40% anti-heal. When you're looking at him bulking up with that card, Rapid Sustain. So with the damage reduction of 40%, with the actual only 40% anti-heal they're applying, most likely from the Death and Taxes in that 1v1, Buck is still gaining health in that situation, and that may not be what you expect, just stat-wise, looking at a Death and Taxes versus a Buck.
And I will say, looking across pretty much every member of Renegades right now, I think the one I'm most impressed with is Loki, just because his Bomb King has been good enough.
Where'd this come from?
That there's no, I guess, disbarring him. The way he's been going, it's just so good that it looks fluid, like he's been playing it this entire time. It's not, hey, he's not the Androxus guy, he's the Bomb King guy.
Yeah. And you know what? There has been a really, really quiet performance from all the stars of Envy. Rock Monkey has been basically silent here on this Zen. As you can see, he gets silenced again by Moonchopper with a dash. Hero has been a phenomenal force on this Terminus, and Nick mentioned it, the Inara. It seems like that might have been a little bit better for Rubu to pilot here, or maybe Tolkien flex Rubu onto something else. Random Noob has well been super silent, hasn't gotten a Dragon Punch off from what I've seen, finally gets it, but the Reanimate comes back, doesn't find a kill, but Loki cleans up the Dragon in the skies with a bomb.
Now just trying to push him back, hold whatever they can. Rubu, looks like he feels alone on the point with the way things are going. His team kind of falling beside him falling right there. Tulky picking up 2, looking to get aggressive right now. This is actually when it could be good, but Rock Monkey goes down, and Tulky's in an awkward spot.
And this is really potential for Moonchopper to make a star out of himself. Beautiful stun there from Viral. Could he do it? This might just be the game. Oh my god! The double kill comes through from Moonchopper. Viral keeping him healthy with the mending spirits, and Rubu now is a second away from getting pounced. The midnight pops. Renegades are going for it, Gore.
Now just finding a couple more daggers. The shield matters no more, a little bit more damage, but buying respawn timers here for Envy. They're trying their best to get here, trying their best to stand, but it's just not long enough.
What a performance. What a clutch stun from Viral. What an ability, I think, for Renegades to bounce back, fight through adversity in that moment where, hey, this could be a lot longer of a game. We could give them a chance to get back and just cut their hopes off at the seams. Beautiful clinical play from the Renegades here.
And now I'm kind of curious to watch the rest of the set, because I mean, I don't know how many in the past week and a half, I guess now, or 2 weeks since it's the last day for the PPL
Hasn't
this
been
week.
sweeps, right? Yeah.
It's been like a 4-0 to start off potentially a 5-game set, a 4-game set, a 3-game set. It just does not really set the pace as well. I think that one was a good one, though.
Well, let's see what the desk has to say about it. Game 1 goes to Renegades in this set versus Envy.
I do love the way Renegades just leaned into the play at the very end.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible to watch them commit to something like that over a team that has traditionally, you know, started to beat them, I think, on a more consistent basis. Renegades, though, they know what it is to beat Envy. I think they know what it is to be a top 2 team in North America for a couple of weeks there. We were talking about whether or not they were the top dog, and I have a note written down here, just simply more power picks for the Renegades. I think what they were playing was so comfortable for them. Really, really almost like their #1 champions they would want to be playing if you gave them a choice of the entire cast. We know Moonchopper was the guy that brought Street Justice Maeve to the scene. He was the first one to bring it out in the PPL, to find success with it, and that doesn't come just, you know, by chance. That comes through. He was grinding this. He's figuring out the ins and outs of this character, and I mean, I think he had a lot of great matchups to go into to boot.
Back when he was on Splice and he did bust that out, a lot of the wins were reliant upon that, because we saw then when it was banned away from Splice when he was there, they suffer the consequences. But here, just being able to fully lean into that, and then with ClickU as well, just showing out on his pick, I mean, that's a lot when you see all of the DPS players doing their part.
I mean, this is definitely worth talking about when you look at Kliku, the way he is traditionally a frontliner for this team, and we saw him leading the charge a lot of times on this bulk up Buck. You know, you can play different roles, right? It's a little bit role fluid, so to speak, with Buck. You can be that type of guy that just makes space for your team. That's what he was doing down in the Cathedral, down in the Gatehouse, just letting Loki, I think, have a little bit more space, letting Chopper have a little bit more space, and Loki on the Bomb King is almost the biggest talking point of it all, because he doesn't play these blasters hardly ever, and he comes through 5-0 after the first round. I mean, a solid performance from him, and the game is evolving, people. Like, it's becoming more about, can you play the right picks at the right time, right? Rubu on Fernando, yes, that's a Rubu pick through and through, but is that the right pick for this scenario? You have to be able to evolve to as a team and comfortably say that, you know, anything can be a power pick for us. We have to be able to pick what's right for this scenario, not worrying about what this player can play.
And Renegades really do have to be feeling themselves at this point as they go into the second game. Because back last split, we talked about the fact that they had a lot of strength, or last fall rather, where they didn't really have that blaster force for them and they paid the price for it. But now being able to put Loki onto that pick and it work out favorably for them is... It's a phenomenal step in the right direction. But Bright Marsh is where we're going.
It's just that, and we might not see that for a long, long time again, but the fact that it's just there for the Renegades is so good, right?
You need the option.
It's when those stars align, right? Well, Maeve's open. We have to get Maeve, and, you know, we can't be too worried about what Loki, he's like, and now he can just say, you know, I'm fine to play this. I might not take over the game. He almost kind of arguably did. He's 5-0 after a great round from Loki. I'm not going to be the star setter, but I'm just going to be solid. I'm going to be good on this pick. It's not something that we need to be worried about anymore. We can focus on picking what's right for this scenario.
And Renegades continue to prioritize the Buck. This time they take the Drogos as their blaster, so away from the side of Envy. And with Maeve banned out as well, that means they're going to have to go in a different direction for a new But Khan, Genos, Xin. And Rock Monkey on the Xin last game wasn't really his true Rock Monkey form, it felt like.
No, definitely not.
Getting shut down.
Definitely not. It can be very difficult. Maeve bursting you down so much. A lot of pressure. There's no one that he can comfortably 1v1, I think. Now, Envy, they're going to put Random Noob on the Eevee. That's a tall task. I think Fishy did, Creatives did beautifully on this map with his Eevee, so Random Noob has some shoes to fill in that regard. Renegades have seemed to target him out a little bit in this pick ban phase. Drogo's Bomb King, not a normal 1-2 punch for the Renegades, but they seem to be attacking Envy where they're most comfortable.
And rounding out with Grover, which we saw Viral actually bring that out previously when there wasn't as much talked about. Yeah, he was the one that was still bringing Grover to the table.
When it was like a new thing, that Splice set, I believe, from the spring split, I think he played it all 5 games.
Yeah, the hear me out moment.
Yeah.
I think is what he said. But what do you think of the lineups? Who are you favoring?
I definitely like what Envy have. I'm interested to see what they're able to do this time around with the Khan Eevee, Khan Zin, and having Genos Luminary on both of those characters. Rock and Random could be incredibly scary this game.
Well, game number 2, it was quite a game number 1 for Renegades. Let's see if they can repeat that action again.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I think this is where you start to see the mettle of a team. If they can continue to dominate over what has been the best performing LAN team in North America over the last 5 months, you got to say they may be earning their spot at the top.
I feel like it wasn't even that long ago that Renegades couldn't play blasters. There were no way to have blasters on their lineup without it just looking like it was going to be a failure. Now they're running 2 in one game. Loki's been able to showcase a Bomb King. And this is something that I think, again, when you're looking at these top teams and you're trying to attain that is the thing that makes the difference. Can you play this when we need it versus how good are you as a player? If you are more well-rounded, I think that's way more valuable.
I agree. And obviously, you want to be able to flex into any draft possible. You pick what's right, not what you have to play. Rock Monkey has not been on a bow character for a while. Envy usually so good at getting that in the draft, but banning out the Shaolin means that the Makoa Cassie can be banned out from Renegades. So let's see if Rock can perform a little bit better than he did this game on the Zen. Random Noob taking the onus of the Eevee, which worked really well for them earlier on this week, I believe. And ClickU, Moonchopper, and Loki will be on the 2 blaster, 1 flank combination. Again, a very notable kind of pickup there. The Bomb King and Drogos don't usually go hand in hand.
I'm interested to see how this Eevee is going to be able to perform. ClickU immediately getting aggressive. That's going to be 1 shotgun blast away, and that's first blood.
Headshot right away. I mean, that's impactful. That's important. He hits a headshot and the net shot, which is over 1,200 damage. And he allows Eevee to sit there with about 400-600 health and just 1 shot away from going down. ClickU single-handedly forces everyone back.
Just being able to find those shots. And there was a point where Ruben was still, I want to say, kind of questioning where should he go at that time. Then he gets shot in the back from ClickU. Getting rid of that buck, I think, is probably the biggest thing for Envy right now. Just giving them something to move forward. I mean, Renegades have 60%, and I don't think they've taken anything other than that ClickU death, and honestly, they could afford that.
The way they do it is perfect, though. Raining rockets from above is Moonchopper, as Team Envy did find an answer on the ClickU, and now they find an answer on a Moonchopper as well. Random Noob getting in the thick of things. Rock Monkey swinging away, 48% now counting for Team Envy. Looking to contest this 60. Khan on the point with a battle shout. That'll be down for a few seconds as Random Noob pokes through that staircase. Hero trying to get back on. The Blink's going to heal up Random Noob in a second. It's pretty much all-out warfare right now.
Nice shots on the Hero, getting him relatively low. No reanimate means no more Terminus for a little bit. 99% overtime coming through, but they don't have another front line to take that presence.
And I love how he rounds it out. That Poppy Bomb is actually going to save the life of Loki and maybe put Random Noob in a bad spot. Battle shot from Khan through time and space. Mr. Hayes off the mark, and those Astral Marks themselves really kept Team Envy in it, but Renegades, they withstand the pressure. They may lose a battle here and there, but they win the war at that point and come out on top again.
And just being able to hold it at the right time, looking to hold a trap. ClickU's still going to be able to do that. I feel like that's a little deja vu. Coming out of the ice block, immediately getting hit by a shotgun. Not where you want to be as an Eevee. And unfortunately, I feel like that's kind of been the way it has been for Random Noob. He hasn't quite been able to get this Eevee roll.
It's been a really quiet day from him. We normally can't help but notice his highlight plays. On this Drogos and Stone Keep, I mean, that's where his highlight clip is from, starting this PPL season out. Very, very quiet. Did win a lot of these duels. Part of it is just ClickU's been performing so well for Renegades on the buck. He has been phenomenal from start to finish. Really turning into that franchise-style player for this team, and his leadership on and off the field has proven invaluable.
And it's this thing, I actually think Nick said it yesterday on the desk at one point. It's actually a nice counter comes through, stopping Moonchopper in his tracks. But it's in that area of buck. You don't want to ban him, but you also don't want the other team to have him.
Oh, and he's getting a triple kill here. Rock Monkey continuing it over. He could get himself a quadra. He's not going to get credit for that. Random Noob and Tolkien getting in the action, but great stuff from Rock Monkey. Absolutely cuts that push in half. And now Renegades have about 1 minute and 10 seconds to get it halfway home in order to finish this push.
Finally stepping up to the area they need. Triple kill. Those are the only 3 kills he has as of right now. But that's kind of the moment. I think that's when you notice someone's getting comfortable on the pick they're playing. When they finally are able to get that performance that you've kind of been expecting out of them the whole time.
Exactly.
That's when it's like, okay, now you know, like, you've got Zen back under your hands. You know exactly what's going on, where you need to be. You're set.
And one of the things about, Paul's Drogos is it's a little bit more aggressive in that he likes to play in the mid-range. He will take your fights in places that may be uncomfortable for a lot of Drogos, where Moonchopper is relatively staying in the back line and really being patient. He likes to do that with the Maeve. He likes to do that in his play in general and just make the correct decisions and almost let you outplay yourself before he tackles into a fight. Moonchopper finding a kill on a random noob as he overextends there. And Rock Monkey's just going to billow away to safety.
I'm glad Tolkien able to kind of clean up ClickU right there after Rock Monkey gets aggressive, but then falls back, recognizing that maybe he was pushed up too far, but they still have some follow-up. A little bit of poke there. ClickU just shrugs it off, comes back in, potentially causing a lot more harm, but you force that reset, you force that respawn, and now he's not able to be there just for a little bit longer so you get some breathing room.
A lot of damage, and in fact, what ends up happening, luckily, is Moonchopper's one of his rockets from the salvo gets countered, but the fire spit explodes after, so Rock Monkey still takes 1,000 damage. Firal's forced back on the Grover, and Rock Monkey hunting him down. Doesn't quite see him yet. He will now, but can Grover counterplay this? No, not enough time, not enough heals. Too much damage here coming from the flank, and Rock Monkey, I think the rest of the squad with a double kill there are going to just cement themselves a defense.
Being able to find 3 total from Rock Monkey. A last little hit towards the tail end there just to get rid of the Drogos, making sure that that rocket is just not going to be quite as impactful.
That would have been
and there were
sweet.
several times. That would have been a great Yomi.
That would have been the one.
But still able to get a lot of kills off of that, force someone to fall off the map, clean up, ClickU right afterward. The play they needed when they needed it, and being able to tie it up, getting their first point so far of the set.
And talking about what they did so well, I think Renegades and Envy played to their strengths last round, but more so the side of Renegades because the reanimate became a potent factor they had to deal with as that round fight was so long. Tolkien didn't have an overpower to start this round in the beginning, so now Renegades have to deal with that threat of having one member instantly deleted potentially. That may be a problem.
Grabbing a Terminus with his ult and being able to throw him off the edge of the map is incredibly valuable just because he can't reanimate over there. So it does give you that kill, even though you know that ult is available. Depending on where Hero could go down, I think that's going to make a big difference for this fight. And also, depending on where Tolkien actually uses that ult.
And this is the battle that needs to be won, because if they let ClickU slip into the backside here, there's just really not anything they can do. ClickU finds a great shot, and actually they're expecting random noob, but now this opens stuff up, and that's a beautiful play. I think that was the overpower used, actually, but he still remains 33% of it. I'm guessing because maybe it technically didn't complete because Rock Monkey killed him before it actually went into his hands.
Yeah, that seems about the way things tend to go.
I think that's
this.
how it
and
works.
It's really unfortunate in one way, in the sense that it's like, man, I didn't get to use my really cool grabbing ult, but
that's what kind of killed him, right?
Yeah.
That essentially him moving towards. Wow, that's some new tech right there. That's the new tech. Get ultimate value charge off of that. Random noob blinking in and out. This Eevee's really been a question mark for me. It's just been so hard for him to compete with this Bomb King, with this Drogos, with this Grover, but he's doing a great job considering. Reanimate from Hero. He's probably going to die instantly here unless he gets a huge help from his friend, but Rubu finds that kill and Envy in control.
I want to say, and this is going to be, a tinfoil hat moment for us to, put it on. I think Envy planned that kind of kill. Because that seems like the one thing where it's like, we want a guaranteed kill on this guy.
You tinfoil hat.
And so you plan the idea of, I'm going to grab him, kill him before I get him, and then I'll be able to retain it so that my ult doesn't disappear completely. I still have some prevalence in this fight.
I will say that, if a team is going to come up with a strat like that, I would expect it out of Envy. I would.
But it still feels very tinfoil hat to me.
But you are definitely wearing a tinfoil hat right now, and I don't mind. And in fact, that might be a good look for you, buddy.
You never know.
You ever thought about it? Clean-shaven tinfoil hat. Aliens. Somebody Photoshop that, because I think that'd be a good look. Can we get Gore tinfoil hat in Twitter, please? Just somebody at me with a photo.
I already know that that's going to happen. Probably during this set. I'm going to feel my phone buzz, and I'm going to be well.
I'd be surprised if Fox didn't do it already, to be honest. He's usually on top of that kind of stuff. Spite available to be used. Here's a nice storm as well. Oh my god, Loki deletes random noob right out of the air, and Nick loves to say this. Eevee, probably the worst person to follow up on her own Ice Storm, needs the team commit, doesn't have it at all. Spite is available. That world gets value, 800 damage because he hits 2, and then finds double the value in terms of kills as well. Moonchopper isolated when he thought he was okay, and the spike cleans up the dragon. That was huge from Rock Monkey.
And just perfect movement as well, recognizing this is like the right angle to dash at, turn around, get really big hits, and like you said, isolate the Drogos, get the kill. Moonchopper's not able to do anything. If he's dead, you get a little bit more room. A minute left, so you have plenty to push with. And right now, I'm pretty sure Mr. Hayes hasn't died.
But Mr. Hayes off the mark on 2 of these ultimates that really could have been impactful towards the mid and the end of this round. Mid last round, end of this round. Has to make sure he's getting value, at least something off of that. Team Envy with a great push. And you could say the value was the disengage.
Yeah.
But, you know, hasn't hit anyone yet. Definitely wants to make sure that that's happening. But Team Envy, although the little things may be off here and there, the big picture, the 2-0-26 from the healer is definitely a highlight and something you should be proud of.
And it's just in that area of partially, I think normally we see that and we always mention the amount of healing he's getting because he hasn't died. Because he's always there to have that presence. With Genos, it's going to be partially healing, but think of how much Luminary has been up. There is no Luminary downtime for their team in a lot of these fights. So he is augmenting this damage, and of course, at the top, it's going to be Eevee and Zen.
And he's, you know, you look at it. I mean, he really, obviously competing against a Grover, but Grover can very well out-heal you on Bright Marsh with Efflorescence. It is very possible. The fact that there have been no deaths and that Viral has been forced back by Rock Monkey many times, by Random Noob many times, is just a sign of the pressure and the impact of that pressure. Random Noob finding ClickU there, and again, Khan has 31%. It seems like they actually do the exact same thing. So Gore, your tinfoil hat theory is seeming a lot more reliable.
I honestly think, again, if it's a team that's going to figure it out,
very
it seems
planned.
a lot like Envy would be the ones to do it. And that's been the big thing with Khan. A lot of players were complaining that it was really just difficult to charge his ult up. If you use your ult, you get something out of it, you still get the kill, even though you don't technically use your ult. You put yourself at 30%, you get the charge back, it's good. Unfortunately, you need a little bit more than that.
Oh, man. This is some high-level tech right here. And
Envy,
I know you
leading the way.
I mean, we got to get an official statement. This definitely has to be an official statement, whether that was some tech or whether that was just luck. But it has to be because they did 2 rounds in a row.
The first time was an accident, and they were like, oh, my God.
Yeah,
Second
oh, my God,
time, they're like,
dude.
let's do it again.
Let's do it again. And I guess the idea is if you were pulled someone from this distance, right, with a clear line of sight and teams in the middle as a nice Dragon Punch comes in, but it's immune by Fernando, it would allow your teammates to see them flying in the air and finish them off and get your ult back. Loki with double kills in the process, but Random Noob finding one on the Loki. The bomb is out of this fight, but so is the Ice Queen, and I think this is going to be Renegades grabbing this objective and ending Mr. Hayes' streak right there. Hero not getting much value, although he gets the last hit.
I was really watching. I was
he got
zoned
nothing.
in on ClickU's ult charge.
What happened?
Because I was like, that is a 30 streak that is ending, and it doesn't really seem to have given much. I mean, 14% for Terminus is still going to be a big
He
swing.
had 7% when that happened.
Yeah, that's not
He didn't get anything from
a
that.
whole lot.
So something was weird about that.
Not worthwhile. Well, I mean, you kill Mr.
It
Hayes.
just maybe someone else got it for some reason. I don't know. There are a lot of weird little things like that, but that is definitely a last hit on a high-level streak, unless, you know, Gore, it is possible his streak ended just a second before we didn't notice. So there it is. Rubu here looking to just stay alive, but ClickU is in a great spot to keep the pressure on. Hero finding a kill, and Rock Monkey is the victim of that. Minute and 38 seconds left. Big Fuselage shot, and it's going to put ClickU in a position to take down Random Noob. This is actually a retreat from Renegades that's working out as a nice kind of bait offensively to get some good damage.
Pull him in, and that's honestly exactly where you want to fight. You kind of have to pull a Terminus, I think, out of his position, out of where he feels comfortable, to make sure you can get that fight going in your favor. And when you have a Fernando, you have a Khan on your side, you can afford a little bit of damage. That was beautiful movement, just bounce in, bounce out. Unfortunately, still losing Rubu, but the rest of the team coming to save and get the kill.
Oh, man, you just see the impact of this Fusillade. And Moonchopper doing such a good job of maintaining height, maintaining a high vantage point, knowing Rock Monkey's after him, just waiting, trying to bait out a counter, bait out some help from his friends. Dragon Punch at the ready. The ultimate is charged. Rock Monkey still looking to try and get a kill on to ClickU or to this dragon, but it's so hard with the way Moonchopper's playing. And again, it looking like some very low frontline play. Tolgi goes down, and Rubu, he's about to fall as well.
Locked in a corner, Click, you're going to be able to pick up two, both of the front lines there, and Rock Monkey going down. You lose Mr. Hayes. This is looking like it might just go up 3-3 because they are keeping it close.
Oh, man, Renegades have come out with a vengeance today. It is 25 seconds left, but they are in such a good position after deleting Khan just like that. Tolki barely had a chance to breathe.
Man.
It's going to be a 3-3. It all comes down to one more fight, depending on, Renegades maybe going 2-0 up in the set.
This was just one of those rare moments, and I think what you highlighted was most important of all of that. You're looking at Drogo's free firing up in the air, no one taking him down, and it's just constantly hitting people and constantly getting them half health if they're squishy, or if you're a frontline and you take two of those, you're at 1/3 HP. It's not going to take too much to clean that up.
Right. I agree. It's just it's a tough one as we see a great highlight from ClickU. Just the flick shot, the presence. Again, we talked about earlier how he's impactful for this team.
2, 1.
I'm sure the KDAs will show that as well. 5 streak for him, and Master Riding picked up 16 and 9 for ClickU. Most killing blows in the entire game. 14-7 for Rock Monkey, so can't be mad at that. Here it is. They try maybe to take him down too early, and this time Khan will have a full reset, and it's just ClickU.
I think that's worthwhile. The person who's got the most killing blows on the enemy team you get rid of, and honestly, that creates a lot of space because what you had said at the beginning of round number 2 I think still holds true here. The matchup that was most important was stopping ClickU from getting into the back and causing too much havoc.
Yeah.
That stops him right off the bat. Unfortunately, you kind of have to keep him locked down right now, 54%. You're looking strong, you're in control, but we've seen Renegades fight back from this before in this game.
And again, the through time and space is just off the mark slightly. Mr. Hayes doing such a good job of knowing when, but just the how is not coming through for him. Tough breaks on those ultimates, but Rubu and him find kills no matter what. It works out in the favor of Envy here, trying to tie things up. Random Noob needs to win this duel, and it looks like Viral on a 20 streak may be ending soon if he doesn't get out of dodge.
75% still rising up. Random Noob creating a ton of room. Iceball goes in there, looks for the shot, finally ends up getting it, but it took so long. Moonchopper's able to reply to that in no time.
And 99% almost ticking away. Renegades here, though, coming back with a frenzy. It's just Hero and ClickU fighting their ways. Arubu has the brand. He seems to have the plan as well. Rock Monkey and the Bill buying way too much time, and I think Hero's going to fall very, very soon.
Keeping it close, Moonchopper coming in, going to be able to get one free elimination unless it's countered. Mr. Hayes gets credit for 3 kills at the end to get a triple for himself and the game for his team.
Beautiful stuff. A little salsa on the front line objective. I don't mind that at all. You could salsa with a win like that, tying it up against a great team who put in a great effort again. Renegades looking great this week, but it's a strong, I think, showcase of Envy's talent to be able to bounce back.
And I think this is the one that really sets the pace for the set for me.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, you have a 4-0, you get it out, you're just like, all right, we took a loss, just ignore it. Let's go to the next one. It goes 3-3, and it's incredibly close to the end. That feels the way this set was supposed to go in my mind, and I feel like the next game is going to be just as close.
Let's not forget, Envy and Renegades were basically vying for a spot at LAN within the last couple of weeks, the last week. So the PPL has always been kind of contested in North America. We heard from Paul, he says it's the most competitive competition that he's seen in the PPL ever. And so let's send it back to the desk to break down now what this set has in store for us with a tie ball game.
It is currently 1-1, but that was a very different tone of a game compared to game number 1.
Sure was. You saw Rock Monkey able to have a little bit more success, I think, on the Zen, just with more chaos being created on the battlefield. They had 2 aggressive front lines this time around, as well as Random Noob playing a very aggressive flanker in Eevee instead of a pretty passive backliner like a Drogo. So you can see he's able to operate in this backline. He has space to move around, and this is Bright Marsh, right? Stone Keep, it can be a little bit more difficult to do because it is just a bigger map. The line of sights are a little bit longer. Zen can be a little bit more slippery with all these corridors to go in and go out. That blast play was beautiful team play there from Envy, the way that Zen able to step up, throw the counter to block the Dragon Punch for his frontliner, and then tag immediately back out. It's really, really, really strong communication going on there.
Because it was a lot of delay tactics there in the end on the last capture, and if the Dragon Punch would have landed, then it might have been a whole different story, giving enough time for the rest of the team to commence. But instead, here you go, Mr. Hayes throwing out with the ultimate and got the triple kill, but as you said, it was very much a team effort.
Right, that was just a really good angle, I think, to watch what happened there, rather than having just the face of the dragon coming straight at Zen. Then, triple kills, a little bit of lucky last hitting going on there for Mr. Hayes. Some cool tech with the Khan ultimate as well. Pulling out a lot of stuffs to just eke out a victory. It feels like Envy were not dominating that game by any means. Renegades are here to put up a fight.
So let's see what happens in Game 3, because somebody's got to pull ahead, right? And Renegades, with their dominating performance in Game 1, I don't think they're going to be too down after that last game. They know that it was close. Maybe brush it off a little bit. You're heading off to Serpent Beach.
And this is a very pick-dependent map. I think you can really win Serpent Beach hard in the draft here with getting good high ground picks. Things like the Mave, the Buck, the Drogos, look for those to go pretty early here. Renegades have been prioritizing blasters more than usual, and I think it's just because of the caliber of player that they're up against. The early Mave ban doesn't tell us a lot, but it is one of Random Noob's strongest picks as well, gone early off the board.
I could see a world as well if Envy end up locking into an early Drogos or something like that. Do you think maybe we could see like a Loki Androxus or something?
Potentially here now. With Shaolin, Loki can play a little bit of this. I expect it to be Moonchopper, but it is a pretty flexible pick for them early on. Envy do get the Buck for the first time. They get the Eevee as well. Random Noob has a lot of power picks open at the time being, and Eevee she's coming back in for a lot of teams, right? Envy, they've got it on lock. Fnatic, lock. Na'Vi, lock. Hell, even NIP at this phase, I think they've got it locked down, but the rest of these teams are still figuring out, I think, who their Eevee is going to be. Like G2, sometimes it's Body, sometimes it's Cuss, sometimes it could be anyone from that roster. Renegades, kind of the same story there. I don't know if they've got an Eevee pick locked down. They've switched up a lot about their draft this time. We'll have to see if it pays off.
With the Anar Maldamba combo allowing the DPS players to really try and pressure this line on Envy. Drogos is the last lock-in, but who are you liking more?
I think I like Envy here. I think the fact that they're having room to get Drogos last for Team Envious. Rock Monkey gets to run the Xin a third time. I don't know. I don't see how they lose this one. I think they got a very, very solid lineup here.
And then Buck has also switched to the opposite side, so that's been something Clicky's been kind of leaning on this entire time.
So he could be a little bit off balance this game around. I think Tolki, as long as he steps up and he performs, this is a first pick for Envy, so he has to be able to pull some weight with it.
Well, game number 3. Let's go ahead and find out who pulls ahead.
Well, it is, of course, a swing game right here. Somebody's going to take the lead. Somebody's going to be facing defeat after this one, and it's really important for these two teams to get this head-to-head win because this is often the fight for first place here or second place, and these two teams are the ones fighting for it.
And I think much like when we're in game in round 3, especially in a 2-2, is the one that I think really swings your momentum. I think game 3, when you're 1-1, is what really swings your momentum because it comes in and you're just like, okay, first game we lost whatever. Second game we lost whatever. This one, you lose this one, you only have to lose one more. It's just downhill from there, and you kind of get in your own head once that starts going through.
Yeah, kind of like the Cavs.
I'm feeling maybe a little salt.
No. I mean, you're just describing absolutely what
the same scenario.
Yeah. Random Noob TV needs to have a good performance on the Drogos. That's all I'm going to say. He needs to show up big today.
Who would you say in this matchup is the J.R. Smith?
Is the J.R. Smith, dude? I'm not giving anyone that title. That's not fair. That's not fair.
We'll have that after the set's done.
I'll tell you who can't be J.R. Smith is Random Noob. They need something from him. Loki's been just so good offensively when he's had the chance to 1v1 via this Bomb King, when he's had the chance to really be impactful. And this is what I'm talking about, this mid-range play. Moonchopper wouldn't be there, but Random Noob knows, take that Inara out, make the big play, I can help my team win. He takes his team on his back, and unfortunately there he loses his own life, so not sure if that was the perfect call. Renegades now in control of the objective, still battling through.
Still a lot of kind of poke back and forth, and very similar, I want to say, to the start of the last 2 games, where no one has really taken that grip early on and just said, this is our point. You kind of have it go back and forth. You get a kill as Random Noob, but you lose your own life, and no one comes in to fill the vacuum. No one comes in to take that space. It just stays vacant.
And what they do, though, and the way that they go for it is that this team trusts Random Noob. They trust Paul. Those shots are the ones he needs to hit. He cannot get taken down by Loki here. Getting really low, but gets another thrust thanks to survival. Dropping below that certain health threshold in Drogos' kit. Big card. And Hero is back, but this is where Random Noob's going to be, just focusing onto this front line. The counter might save Rock Monkey, but no. He goes down, and now Renegades are really, truly holding the objective strong.
And now Moonchopper actually in a great position to kind of get in and get a little bit of punch, poke, down, whatever you need.
Okay.
Ends up taking that.
I don't mind
I
it.
want to say that's going to be worthwhile for Random Noob. You get rid of your threat.
Oh, and he salvos. I mean, one shot right there to a planet from Loki probably would have killed him with Fusillade. Just not enough time to get down. I thought it was a good Dragon Punch. It was a good split decision. But, man, this Inara, just the patience, it's the Elven Path strategy, so to speak. Just stand on the point and just stand on the point, and it works.
Once the displacement's gone, once you don't have anything to worry about, just stand there. I mean, there's no reason not to other than, oh, yeah, I want to give them another chance. And it's in that moment where it's just like, as much as it is, and I like to harp on frontline sometimes because it does feel like you kind of get the worst job. It's like, hey, you're going to take all of the damage.
Yeah.
If I die, it's probably because you weren't shielding me.
Right.
And also, you have to stand only on the point where it's open, where people can shoot you for free. But if you get it done right, everyone's going to be happy for it.
Yeah. That's it's a really big, everyone loves you when you win.
Job.
It's a thankless job. That's exactly it. Minute 35 now, and Random Noob and the rest of the boys of Envy trying to get themselves back in this matchup. They've been the best performing LAN team in North America by far. But in this set, it's been probably more contested than they would have liked. Missing a week without Rock and playing with Dethroner, and now having Rock back. Maybe just some adjustments, getting back into the swing of things. Whew. Rock has played so much Zen today as well. It's just he hasn't been on a Cassio or a Shaolin, and that's a really strong drafting, I think, upgrade here as far as Renegades.
It's one of those things, and we were talking about this, I think, a little bit yesterday and a little bit on Tuesday, where it's just because it's dropped from, hey, everybody comes to LAN 2, only select teams get to come.
Yeah.
It gets a lot more contested, and you see these teams learning a lot more. You're recognizing, man, what is the drafting pattern of Envy? How do we counter that? And what is their biggest crutch that we can just take out from under them? I
mean, Loki and ClickU are absolutely steamrolling Team Envy, and it is an impressive showcase. It feels like I'm looking at a warrior and a hunter in Realm Royale right now, just with that longbow and just shield potions jumping in at you in your face. It's like, what do? Do you deal with the problem in front of you, or do you deal with potentially getting planted and impaled into a wall for all of your health?
Right now, I say you deal with Loki. He's 6-1-4. He is doing a lot of work, and again, it's one of those cases of you don't normally see this, I want to say, where you take something away, you're like, this is a really strong pick for your team, so we're going to take it so you don't have it. This is an instance of, well, we're also happy to have it. Loki can play this just fine, and he's going to be able to make it look easy.
Where did this Renegades team come from, Gore? And look at that, by the way. ClickU some Lambo Leon running a very, very good build that I found a lot of fun just seeing players utilize that Manifest Destiny and, I believe, Heir to the Throne, the movement speed during Grace, and just the level 5 in terms of the increase the distance. And look at this, he's going behind, and the Enlightenment, beautiful plays. Is he going to make it out alive? Almost, but boy, oh boy, he's got 2 down so low. The Astral Mark's going to heal him all up, and the Seismic Crash trying to collapse on what might have been one of the most entertaining damage flanks I've ever seen.
Through time and space available, and I'm kind of curious as the angle Mr. Hayes is going to throw that out when it finally does come through and how they're going to pick it up, but it doesn't really matter. Moonchopper, Loki picking up Tulky, and Random Noob just keeping any threats that would be there gone.
And it's really just, it's a quiet day, and it's a big day for Moonchopper as well. This guy flexing onto Mate, onto Trogos, onto Eevee. This is not what we basically know from him as Renegades take a 3-0 here on Serpent Beach, looking by far the better team.
You said, where did this Renegades team come from? This, to me, is a team that's tired of getting to LAN because someone else isn't able to make it.
Exactly.
They're a team that's tired of always coming in, and everyone's just like, oh, I mean, you only got here because of blank. Like, you didn't get here because you were the reason. And now,
because SEA didn't show up.
Partially tired of hearing that, tired of sitting around, 3rd, 4th place. They want to drive to the top.
Oh, my God. What a play from Viral. Finds the stun. And you're so right, Gore. There is that moment of how much is enough. When are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? And I think ClickU and Renegades feel that way. And it's a really good thing to have that happen now in this time of the split, week 2, when you can, really set yourself up for an easy week 3, 4, 5. That puts the pressure on Envy, that puts the pressure on G2 and SK and Splice to do things. When you get wins like this, you're just setting yourself up for success and really increasing your chances to have big moments later on in the year.
I feel like these Dragon Punches just haven't gone where Random Noob thinks they're going to go.
Well, he's got no pressure.
Time. And it's at that area where, like you said, no pressure, but also the minute he pops it, everyone on Renegades is looking for him. Like, where are you going to go? Because the minute we see you, you're going to have damage dumped into you. He has to take cover awkwardly behind these walls.
And that's less about Random Noob playing poorly. And that specifically is Renegades doing well. You saw when that Dragon Punch was lined up, Moonchopper front line for the Inara. He said, hey, hit me. I'm going to shoot you. I'm going to get in your way. I'm going to ice block maybe, try to bait that out. And I think that those types of decisions are making this very difficult. ClickU showing up as attention goes towards the Dragon Punch whenever it happens. He used an Enlightenment on one earlier. They're committing ults, they're committing resources, they're committing time to make sure Random Noob doesn't have a good game. And a good ice block almost got caught in Mr. Hayes' through time and space, which none of those have hit today, pretty much.
Yeah, it's just been,
off day.
a lot of ults that are just off the mark. It's like, man, you almost clipped them, but you didn't clip them.
Almost.
You didn't make that game-changing play. It didn't cause someone to go down. Instead, on the other side, Renegades are coming through. They get rid of Rock Monkey. They get rid of Tolkien again. And then it's just, what do? We're still pushing this payload forward. 20 seconds left, so you still have plenty of room to defend, but it's looking kind of shaky.
And the ults aren't hitting because they're under pressure and playing from behind. Those ults can hit when you feel good and you're up 3-0. It's another basketball reference, but when you're up 10, you can pop through 35 feet and shoot a Hail Mary three-pointer because if it goes in or not, who cares? You're winning. If you're down 3, 40 seconds left, and you shoot from half court, you're going to get flamed. And that's what's happening here. Envy is like throwing out something saying, man, I hope this sticks, otherwise this is not going to look good. Luckily, they find the defense off of some stalwart plays from Rubu and Mr. Hayes, but the pressure is mounting for some results here.
And it's just been a lot of this. You come out, you're ready to go for the hit, and then immediately you're half health. Like, that's the big issue. He's full health going into that. He takes one hit and just has to flick around. You still find ClickU. I think you still get some usefulness out of your ult, but it's not what you expected it to be. And it's both times going for hero.
And I think production was trying to kind of make fun of Paul there. But honestly, what he's doing is he's waiting to see if he can. He's basically seeing, can I get this Inara? If not, I have a target behind me, and I will turn around. But the turning radius is a little bit large, and also we are silent here on the game sound, so that will come back soon. And Random Noob on a one streak, looking to obviously make sure that his team has a fighting chance. But again, he's going to have to show up big. They have to find an answer for ClickU here. He's really been doing a good job keeping him out of the skies. I'd say Dragon Punch now. Why not? Go for it.
Immediately going to be able to pop it right then. Where he's going to go, who he's going to land it on. Actually, this is as a disengage, goes to the back. There was a couple members right there, Moonchopper as well, sitting below him, ClickU there, but he just gets taken out of the sky.
It's just that lack of commitment, right? Because he goes and says, it's better to not hit this and stay alive and stay in the fight because I died early round 1 or round 2 doing this exact thing and dying and not being in the fight and being under pressure the entire time. But then he dies anyway. So I would have loved to see a full commit there. At least take one with you. Maybe you get out alive. But they're not working with great healing. They're just working with an Astral Mark. They don't have any burst from a Spirit's Chosen plus 300. They don't have any Sarah Seals. They don't have any bubbles. You know, it's really looking like Renegades are in control here.
Right now, 83, 93% as it continues going up. They get rid of Random Noob one more time, creating the space you need. Envy are back in there, and they're trying their all to take something back on this point.
And, oh, wow, big outplay there from Rock Monkey. That could have been it. That could have changed this whole game right there. You never know. You let them start creeping back in, and you never know. And that was 2 missed shots. Rock Monkey just juking out and winning his duel versus Loki. If Zen's alive and he snowballs the rest of the fight, that's one thing, but you know, if Shaolin is alive and he snowballs, that's a complete other. Hero's going to make it back into the objective, but here's a Dragon Punch. A Random Noob finds the kill again.
And that time, that's the only one that matters as of right now. 96 to 99, Envy clear up the room they need to take that back. Comeback mechanic forces Renegade's hand, and it was not where they wanted to be, not where they wanted to go, and that plays so heavily into Envy taking that point that it just gives it to him.
And I mean, it's rough because Loki, what a great day he's had. Rough to have a 1v1 go that way under pressure and then see the results of not being able to get back on the point and have an impact offensively. So gotta say, you shake that one off. He's been really good today. And again, Rock Monkey shows up in a way that he's needed to. Normally we're seeing Rock Monkey on, 15, 12, 18 streak score, but that hasn't really happened on the Zen. That's what he's played exclusively today.
It's just one of those things again, and I feel like I don't speak for Envy here, but I didn't expect this Renegades roster. I didn't expect this kind of gameplay from Renegades this week.
I didn't expect the flexibility.
Even after last week, when it's like, okay, you guys are looking solid, but I don't think we're going to make it scary for Envy solid just yet.
Yeah.
Now they've made that jump in just a week. And I feel like Envy might be in kind of the same mindset of we didn't expect them to come out like this the way they're playing.
And we talked about this, in the office, prepping for these games, kind of talking about our opinions. This could easily have been a sweep, right? If Envy's playing the level of play they do at LANs, maybe Envy sweeps this. If Renegades show up and have that kind of fire that they had towards the end of the qualifying LAN time last season, maybe Renegades sweep this. If both these teams show up and have some moments here and there, this could go all 5.
Yeah. The way things have been going, it's honestly going back and forth. And I mean, again, this game I think is a very good allegory for how I expect this set to kind of ride out, where it's just Renegades, especially with the strong 4-0 at the beginning, are just showcasing that they are here to play. They are not just going to be this, always third place team brought in just because they happen to be the next team on the list that were, admittedly good enough to have that score there. They had the better lineup, but it's just, it wasn't you qualified for LAN. You were brought to the LAN.
And if you're Renegades, you have to take advantage of this moment. And that's what, even though they've been to all these LANs, they haven't done. It's kind of been in their DNA to not take advantage of being at those LANs. A PPL team, sometimes playing against PGS teams, sometimes playing against European teams. They haven't made the most of it yet. In the PPL, you're leading 3-2. You have a chance to go up 2-1, be in a closeout game. You have to put Envy down here. You cannot let this team, who's known for running through losers brackets, making big runs from behind, start to come from behind.
Right now, just locking people down. Moonchopper has been playing this Eevee phenomenally. And again, it's the movement, I think, that's really kind of given it to him. There's a lot of cases where he's just not getting locked down, where it honestly feels like he should be. Right there is one of them. Random Noob, though, comes out on top with 2.
The ClickU's right there when he needs to be. Viral and Hero, they're going to go down. ClickU's probably going to fall here as well. 977 for the big swing. And, oh, my God, Lambo Leon keeping the overtime going. Envy going to push this successfully. And now here's the problem. It's all squared away. Renegades, it doesn't matter how well you played, you've got to perform in this round only. Here's that duel we were talking about where Loki missed that bow right there, which would have killed Rock Monkey. Fortunately, things go Envy's way.
There have been several times where I think, and Random Nude Slashline is a very good case in point of this, where he's found a kill, usually either onto Loki, and not just this game, but the last game, the game before it, where he trades it out every single time. And I think that's honestly the best way to go down if you're on the receiving end of that. If you're, I'm Shaolin here, you're Drogos, you shoot a rocket at me and I kill you before it hits me, then I'm like, okay, I can take that rocket, I can take this death just because I was able to get something back before I went down. And creating a lot of this space has been creating a lot of trouble for Envy, not having Random Noob, Rock Monkey, Tolkien, all, I think, at the level that, we've come to kind of expect out of them.
And you got to be careful here as well. I mean, look at the pressure. Plan's already been used. What are you worried about? Enlightenment, maybe, but still, go for it. You got it. This is a decent trade. You're actually making it back. He's still alive. Random Noob does go down, but Rock Monkey finds 2 off of that. Rock Monkey needs to snowball. Paul's giving his life, but he's going to billow away. ClickU, Moonchopper, ClickU, take advantage of the space, and now ClickU finds another Lambo Leon. You just cannot run away from her. She's getting all these movement resets off of the fact that she's got a huge amount of elimination reductions in her card.
And a huge amount of space that she can just traverse in no time. You're sitting, and ClickU's like kind of mid-map at that point. He's like, oh, there's someone really low over here.
Yeah.
Swoop. Okay, now I'm in the right spot. One shot, I get the kill. In any other scenario, you have a little bit of time to kind of think about where am I, where are they, what can I do. You didn't have any time to think or react to that.
Oh man, this is bad news bears. You're right, Gore, but Rock Monkey's in trouble. 75% on the objective. Team Envy are in a precarious situation. Rubu holding the power siphon, trying to make it happen. Whirl here from Rock Monkey, firing away from the sword, looking for Tolkien, who's now in a 2v1. Moonchopper blinks in. Rock Monkey finds it. Can he get Loki here? They need this. If Envy are going to do it, double kill from Rock Monkey, looking for the triple kill. Viral's going to make it out alive, and there, the through time and space puts Renegades in an awkward spot. Envy have turned it around, and they are in prime position, USDA prime, to take this game and take a lead in this set.
It kind of felt like Renegades jumped the gun on that one, and it was one of those moments that you go back to round 2, and you're thinking, oh man, or round 3, they have comeback mechanic, we have to get on this point. Right here, you didn't have to jump in here. Now you do, though, it's you put yourself in this spot. Hero, not quite dead just yet.
Oh man, and you know what? Viral can't get to him. A beautiful angle there. Overtime is ticking away. Moonchopper finds a kill. What can this Eevee do? That is the big secret here, and Envy, they don't want to hear anything about that. Say no secrets in class. And they're going to go ahead and take this one. And what a victory it was. I mean, coming back, fighting again. Now this is a problem because Envy has momentum. Renegades, yeah, they were scary. They've played so well. And to be down a game still, facing defeat, that's got to feel bad.
And you're in this area where you're like, man, we've been playing lights out. But it's just a couple of here and there things. And honestly, again, I think each time it's not necessarily, hey, we're making a big mistake. It's more, they just knew what to do when we made this play. We went in the way that the only way we could. And they read it like a book.
Well, I think it was great adjustments from Envy. Great play from Renegades all around. Send it back to the desk here as we get ready for Game 4.
Another really close game, another one where Envy comes through right in the end.
Yeah, I mean, kind of a rough start for Envy, though, for sure. You know, you look at just the first pick comparison, Shaolin for Loki, and then Tolki's Buck, right? Look, Tolki starts that first round 0-4 versus 6-1 from Loki. It's like Renegades, they're getting off the gate really, really hot here. But, you know, he starts to bring it back, right? I think Tolki maybe figuring out the first time he's played it all set, figuring that out a little bit towards the end of the game. And just what a huge round. Envy tie up the game. They get the cap and the push without having to use a single ultimate. So they go into this 3-3 tied round with such a big ultimate economy to work with. And at the end of the day, Rubu gets to die once in that team fight initially without having to pop his reanimate. He saves it forever. He saves it for the entire round. And then when he finally does need it, he gets a kill onto Inara with it. It's just like Envy had so much in the tank to work with in that final round. It was a really, really just war of attrition that I don't know. I don't see how they could have lost it.
And they conducted it so well as far as how long they took in saving those ultimates when they actually popped off with them, where then on the opposite end, you lose 3 of your players, 4, and then it's a team wipe. Well, not only are you now scattered, but how are you actually going to come back enough to get back on the objective and push them off?
Rock Monkey has that sort of sensational backline dive that almost results in a triple kill. People just coming straight into him, random new people retreating straight into Rockets. Things really hit the ground running for Envy at the end of that match, but they still need to be able to find one more. Let's head to the map screen, figure out where the rest of this set will unfold. Best of 5, so unless the Renegades can claim a W here, this will be the last game.
So Jaguar Falls, we're not to any funky maps just yet. And Renegades, now you've had 2 games where it was a 4-3 finish, and you are so close. So it has to be getting a little bit frustrating at this point, especially because you're going to need to win 2 consecutive games to be able to take away the set, and you're farther and farther from that smashing victory that you had in Game 1.
2 frontline bans for Envy, 2 DPS bans for Renegades, and they're going to get Kliku his buck first things first, but Envy respond with a big power pick of their own. Random Noob, he hasn't taken over any games today, but this could easily be the one with him on Maeve.
Was slowly improving every single game that he brought Maeve out in past sets. And he started in a great place too, so it's not even like he was down here and went up. It was, oh, he's really rocking it. He's getting even better.
For my money, at the Masters Land, he had the best Maeve of the tournament, I think. This has been, you know, Moonshropper brought it in. He coined it. He created this, but Random Noob has looked like the best in the world on it.
And it's been just the game changer for Envy in a lot of these situations with Xin locked in as well as Genos and Nando. I'm very curious to see what that last pick is going to be for Envy because of the fact that they've got this Nando locked in.
So double blaster again for the Renegades, which could be really scary here on Jaguar Falls. Don't get me wrong. It's about who's hitting the in-hands, though, and these are like one of the best maps for Bomb King and Drogos. But it's about Moonchopper and Loki stepping up on these picks, and especially in Loki's case, it's not exactly a traditional pick for him. He was good on it on Stone Keep, but now he's in a situation where, like I said, he wasn't, I don't think, tasked with winning the game. I think Moonchopper was tasked with winning the game on Stone Keep. This is a different story, though. I think Loki has to be big on this Bomb King.
I like the composition coming out of Envy, though, as well, because you have Nando and Ruckus, so these 2 frontliners that can be aggressive, but in combination should be able to hold well for the team. I'm excited to see how it goes down, so let's head on over to Jaguar Falls.
And an interesting kind of thing, Envy have kind of taken the bait. They've taken the bluff of saying, you're going to ban out Cassie, you're going to ban out Shaolin, you're going to consistently say no bow for Rock Monkey. And I like it because Rock has to answer this call. He has to say, I can play something and carry my team and make big plays on something other than the bow champs. He has to show the depth of his and the skill of his champion pool here, and I think Renegades are in a prime position to make him prove that here.
And I'll say I'm pretty interested in what Envy have, just because Ruckus has made his way back from his vacation.
You say you're envious?
Took a relatively long trip away, I would say. I think Volt might have been kind of flying him off, because he has not been
He whirled into the Bahamas and
anywhere.
whirled back. Yeah, I don't know.
So I'm kind of
know where he
curious where this is going to sit.
Where did Rock go for vacation? Must have been someplace cool. I'm pretty sure he went with his girlfriend. So it doesn't really matter.
I think it was a cruise.
Doesn't
No,
really matter
wait, that
where
was
you go.
Gabby. I can't remember if he actually did a cruise or if I'm just making that up.
Man, oh man. He went to Stone Mountain? Is
Oh,
that a
that's
joke?
not that far.
Is that real or is that a joke? Is that a meme? I feel like that might have been a meme. Is that in Georgia?
Yes, that is.
Why would he go there?
It's not too far from
I don't
here.
think he did that. He could have played at our offices then after in between. Moonchopper finding a big kill. On to Random Noob, who's playing the pit now, flexing. Moonchopper on this Drogos. Man, what a story. Not something that he's known for at all, but has done such a good job of flexing.
Going through everything, again, looking much stronger for Renegades. This time, though, it's not this, hey, we're going to wait a minute and a half before someone touches the point. They're immediately onto it, ticking up their percent, trying to get whatever they can. And the ground has already been gained. This is the perfect way to start off a tie set.
And this Ruckus has really shifted things. And, you know, obviously not picked up. It was not a Ruckus in the draft, so I believe it was a Pip. I think that was the one that was maybe picked last. It's changed things in this because Ruck is no longer banned. Ruck is no longer a big conversation piece due to the health nerfs that he got, whether it's warranted or not. But it's opened up more damage bans, which means that, you know, Renegades prioritizing this Buck so heavily, prioritizing the BK, and Loki doing well on it, it's kind of changed the meta a bit for Envy, and they're going to have to answer back.
Good shot so far. Rock Monkey going to be able to pick up Viral, which honestly opens up a lot more room just because you get rid of that pesky healing that has been keeping everyone on Renegade, specifically Hero, though, alive, making it a lot more troublesome for you to try and go back in. 93%, and they take back the point. 60 and rising, but not as comfortable, I think, as you could be.
No, not at all. I mean, there's really only kills on the blasters, so ClickU is 0-1. And he does have an elimination, so he has an assistant on one. With beautiful Void Grip, just putting him in a bad spot. This is where you go for it. You gotta wait, line it up. And Moonchopper narrowly avoids it. Beautiful stuff. Again, Mr. Hayes off the mark on that through time and space. I don't know if he's hit one the entire set.
Tolkien going to be the one running around right now on this Mave, and it's just been doing phenomenal stuff, actually, right there. The Dragon Punch, I want to say was about to connect, might have just run out anyway, but the kills come through. You get that roll that you really need, and he's on a 7 streak right now, and again, one thing I think Envy has been missing, and we've kind of noted on, is the fact that there hasn't been one player that's been step up. Normally, it's Rock Monkey that we see on these streaks. Tolkien right now on the 7 streak is the best way to start it.
Yeah, and it's exactly what you need, too, and Tolkien, one of the things I love about this meta is how it's allowed guys like ClickU and Tolkien, who usually frontline, who took on these roles, although great players like Cuts Cutie as well, Bitey, to flex on the damage, to show their stuff, to maybe get some highlight plays. And a really good choice, although he does not use the Explosive Flask first, he still gets the job done. Really good Dread Serpent as well from Rival to try and just slow the roll of Envy, but they are cruising, baby. Cruising for a bruising as Renegades as well, as they get all but wiped. And Envy look like they made 2-0.
Man, they got this rolling fast, and already they're feeling confident. Just the way things have been going. Renegades, again, I want to say we're really in control early on. A couple of kills and good displacement from Envy have given them this ability to push them back. Loki, though, gets rid of Tulky, who has been a big threat to them. But Rock Monkey's in the back line, and he's getting a lot of damage.
And buying good time, and Loki has to come out. He has to be something for this team here. They're maybe going to accept it. Loki, look at that! With maybe 100 health, Loki's been fighting this entire time. Some big plays from him, and he's really supporting. I think just a great hold from ClickU here on the front line with some AoE pressure. Random Noob has to heal himself. He's got a weightless away. And right now, they're just going to call it off.
I don't think I've ever seen a team actually hold this aggression without their front line there. On Jaguar Falls specifically, where it's just in that area of, we're going to still stand in your face. We're just going to sit right here, even though all we have right now is a Pip and a Genos. That is the only two champions we have to hold this. Now the rest of the team's back. Tulky, unfortunately, again, going down early. But the rest of the team seems to be able to clean up the pieces.
Chicken, chicken, chicken. As he pops, here it is. Nice job. And they can't get... Why are you Explosive Flasking late? You got to do it at the start. He wastes an opportunity. But it's still a really, really good call. And it ultimately ends up working out, it seems. But not enough. Great play. Just the execution slightly off. And ClickU able to bounce back and find both healers on the Buck.
Nah, in my mind, ClickU wants to play this in a way where he's like, I can traverse this map without them seeing me, and I'll touch down, get overtime, and potentially push this in. Not backdoor it, but just try to get there in time. Unfortunately, neither him nor Rubu were there fast enough to touch down.
I mean, I love the opportunity here. Great stuff from Tolky to avoid that and to probably pounce to get that kill onto Hero. Gosh, you know, opportunities, though, really missed in that round, I think. Mr. Hayes, then through time and space, not connecting at any point. Random Noob, just a little bit rushing, I think, the execution of those. Terminus now popping out a little faster. We can take a look at some of the cards, maybe investing into resilience here. It made a big difference in terms of item-wise. No, it doesn't have it, but You know, just that half a second, that moment, it can be the difference between a kill or not.
A lot of that going on. I think the set is a very good example of how close you can get to getting a kill sometimes, and then it just disappears right in front of your face. And something that should be guaranteed, things like the Dragon Punch from Drogos that haven't been able to go through in certain scenarios, pip ults that, again, get you very close. You're one hit away. All I needed was one more smack, and I just wasn't able to find it.
Yeah, and it's a really good kind of awareness of those little things making big differences. And how it's very hard to do the little things right all the time in high-pressure situations like playing for essentially first place here. This is what is on the line. The potential to even have a chance at first place. One of these teams losing to the other is really going to hurt those chances with G2 already perfect.
ClickU in this moment and in this set has been not necessarily perfect on this buck, but he's been a monster. It's just something that is so difficult to take care of. You have to dedicate forces to getting rid of him. And honestly, right now on the 9 streak with the damage output he has, it's solid.
How are these not hitting? I can't believe it. Random Noob finds a big kill there. ClickU on a 9 streak going in, but it's not enough. Tolki's going to slice and dice him. Hero looks like he's in trouble as well, about to get served up. And he has some Calamity Blast to say something different. He runs that nice, interesting build. I'm not sure if he's still got it where he's healing off of some of the Calamity Blasts he uses, but 99% isn't enough to get to 100. Team Envy now have control.
I'm kind of curious as to why Viral dashed in there.
He slithered to try and just
get the overtime timer a little bit longer so they don't get percentage.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the only thing I could really think is...
And die quickly.
It wasn't that much on the line there.
So he is not running that anymore. He's run Forsaken, knowing the Pip's around, and look at that. That's an instant deletion right there. That's how you want to see it. Team follow-up means Pip doesn't have to perform perfectly to get him down. He's got other damage on the board, and that's what you would expect in a 5v5 shooter like this. Envy going to grab the second objective of the game and be able to push this in for a 3-1 in case Renegades hadn't forgotten. This is really season potentially on the line here. It's a must-win game for both these teams.
Especially considering the way Envy have started out the PPL. This is a good showing for them to be able to kind of come in. And again, this week has been solid from them so far. But taking a loss to G2 early on and honestly being able to say, well, we didn't have all 5 of our members is rough.
Yeah.
And when you're looking at this, man, we want to be first place, second place, and we're going up against a team that went undefeated through Split 1. We're going up against a team that honestly kept us on our toes towards the tail end of it. We might have not have been able to go to those lands otherwise.
And Midnight here started from Tolki, and if you want to go for it, Random Noob finds ClickU. That's going to give some room for the Mave to operate. And operate she does. Incision with the dash. Tolki with a double kill, and now Team Envy have a chance to push it through for a 3-1, 90% of the way. Loki firing the bombs, trying to make an impact, and it's ClickU who does, getting the healer out of the fight, but will it be enough to hold?
Right now, the Flameland's doing work, whatever he can. Fireball just off the mark. ClickU needs to go down right here, but they at least get rid of Moonchopper. Viral in the background, healing everyone up, and again, ClickU's alive. This shotgun's causing so much havoc for Envy.
And he's just gonna run. It's 1 minute and 10 seconds. Why wait? Random Noob actually might have been there to throw a big heal. That could have made a difference, but they decide it's just better to fall back. This is very Fnatic and Na'Vi of them. And it's going to work out in their favor. 88,000 healing compared to 84, plus the 15 is going to put Envy slightly in the lead as far as that chart. But Viral doing a great job as always for the Renegades.
Good positioning. I kind of like that Random Noob is where he is, only because he's kind of keeping people distracted.
Right.
On the one side. You're looking over there. You're looking for him.
Love
Evil
it.
Mojo comes
Love
through,
it.
and that time they pick up the kill. 3 of them, in fact, as they just erase Renegades off the board.
I love it. And just a really, really full commitment from Envy. I think that's going to do it. Gore, this is going to be it. Push successful for Envy. Now Renegades have to respond in a big, big way. Here's a little bit of a glimpse from that moment from Tolki.
I would have had the exact same reaction there where you dash at the Bomb King. And, like, granted, Tolki picks up a lot of good kills after that.
Yeah.
But there was that moment where Poppy Bomb came through. He went just over Tolki's head, and Tolki's like, wait, what? How did I not hit him?
Elvis skin.
For Maeve?
Buck.
I could see it for Buck.
For Buck.
But we were talking about Maeve, and you're like, Elvis skin. I'm like,
For
all right.
Maeve.
People were a little heated about the Demonette skin. I think going towards
Show me the booty.
Elvis
Show
would be
me
a
the
little
booty.
different. But I like the take.
Listen, it's not any... guys have butts, too. What's the problem? I'm just
Hashtag
kidding.
give Lex jiggle physics.
Hashtag give Lex some more booty. It's flat. It's too flat. Come on, you know he works out. You know he squats.
You know he squats.
You know he squats.
No guy comes into a game
No.
with a swimsuit skin without doing some squats.
Without doing some squats, baby. Those cheeks are on fire. Gore, you going to say something to that?
I don't know if I should go down the rabbit hole my brain wanted me to take, or if I should just drive it back into the game. Right now, Renegades are the ones who are being kind of corralled away. No one's touched the point just yet. And now finally
The
kills
point
going to
is
be rolling
lava.
through. It's going to be 4 picked up. Reanimate. Potential. I doubt it's going to come through after that.
And that's how you really run this, right? When you're going for that triple DPS, who you're not focused on just sitting and pointing at the objective and just saying, here's where we want to stand and here's where we're going to stand, and you try to make us not stand here. That was a version of Paladins, and I think this meta has been so refreshing to see. As Ninja said, Realm Royale was refreshing as well, just throwing that out there. But it's been just as refreshing for us watching competitive Paladins esports to see this new dynamic style. Evil Mojo is charging 5%. Explosive Flask already onto Hero, but he goes down. Expect the Evil Mojo right now after the reanimate. He's got the Explosive Flask as well. And that's just not even that's not even fair.
Terminus was there, right? Like, had that
I
reanimate
don't know.
came through.
He's supposed to reanimate, but he didn't come back.
I feel like there was like a health bar. Maybe it was like a spectator glitch, as we could call it.
It might have
where
been.
his health bar went back to full, and then it was 0 again.
Spectator glitch for Pip ult. When he ults you, you disappear.
Turn into a chicken sometimes.
You die super fast. So that
was quick.
Yeah, might be a bug. Could be a animal.
Someone on Envy activated the delete key and actually had it delete. You might need to look into this.
Might need to look into that. That's our jobs. We're the bug guys, so we'll try and fix that as well as answering all your complaints and banning all the people that you want banned in your games.
Dude, if you gave me
we do it
banning
all.
powers, that'd be bad.
We do it all. In between the cast, that's what I'm doing. I'm banning people over here and then casting when the camera comes to me. We're going to send it back to the desk here as you guys stop. Gabby, Nick, stop doing all that other work. It's time for the desk. Finish up the set.
Must do other work!
I'm fixing bugs. That's what I do.
Yeah, and that's how you do it?
Yeah.
Smashing them?
I was coding furiously.
Fair enough. Well, it looks like Envy was
I
putting
speak
in a lot
every
of work
coding
in there.
language.
Every single one. Name 3.
Python, C++, JavaScript.
All right, well, I'll let you have that one. But Envy, they get the victory.
Any
in the
other
set.
questions?
I'm trying to talk about Envy right now. But, we can keep going with that. We can keep going with that off of ours. But, yeah, so taking a look, I don't know if they were coding anything during game. Use your super analytical coding abilities
They
to break
coded
that down.
a perfect team fight. That was absolutely textbook from front to back from Envy. You got the one tap from Xin. The spike cleans up the rest of the Bomb King's health. Switch over to the point. Dominating. Mr. Hayes gets 1 kill with his ultimate. Terminus killed. Reanimates right as it comes through. Evil Mojo. Everyone follows it up. It was Envy were 3 steps ahead in that team fight. They knew everything that was going to be happening. They knew every move Renegade was going to make, and they just countered it perfectly.
It was really cool because some of the picks that we were expecting to see on certain players ended up not being the case, but
Right.
were still very outstanding.
Absolutely. Solid stuff from Toki on his Mave. Random Noob steps up to play Pip for the first time this set. That's not completely uncommon. And as well, you have the 4th game in a row, Rock Monkey on Xin. He is super dialed in, as you could see down the stretch. Really clean play from him all around. Envy looking very solid on the day.
Yeah, it was very much this kind of bell curve-ish situation. If you have Renegades here, and then all of a sudden it just starts to mount in pressure as they go back and forth, a couple 4-3s, and then in this last game, Envy just brought it all together.
But solid enough to beat G2. I'm looking right now. I submitted my picks for Esports Weekly Week 3, and I'm thinking about changing it.
Yeah, that's why
I don't know if that was.
After,
I don't know if that was a good enough performance to beat G2.
That's the tough thing.
I don't know.
Well, and even yesterday we were talking about how it was a Mouse Sports doubleheader, and then NIP did better against them technically than
Yeah.
Na'Vi did, but then it's a whole different story when then those teams are going against each other, so it's really hard to say and translate that ability into a whole nother matchup.
I don't know, and I think my 100% pick rate is going to come to an end in Week 3. Week 3 has some tough matchups to call. Given how competitive these matches are getting, the gap is certainly closing in both regions.
But I'm loving it, though. The fact
That's
that
the way the
everyone's
league
bringing
needs to
their
be.
A game. Yeah, we don't want to see it just...
It's probably an issue if someone has a 100% pick rate.
Probably. So you're saying you're an issue.
I am a big problem for Paladins. I need to be chased out of this scene immediately.
Well, there's another scene that's been erupting lately, and that's the Realm Royale scene, which has released. You can catch those broadcasts going on 24 hours as it stands. but I think we like you over here,
Perfect.
Paladins. So.
That's where I'm headed, guys. It's been real. I'll see
well,
you in
if
the
it
realm.
means anything, I don't think you're a problem.
I am.
That
I'm
matters.
a big problem. You just haven't seen it yet.
All right. Well, everybody, we're going to kick it to a break. When we return, I don't know if he's going to be here or not, but I will, Rain Day will, Gore Miser will, so we'll see you then.